2 days ago, I talked to good friend Cristina Inacio. That's my best Portuguese accent. We talk about her job as an international pricing specialist for an international shipping company based in Portugal with the Asian market, as you'll hear from her, about her interesting work hours and schedule. She's an advanced acro yoga practitioner and teacher, master yogi. She speaks 4 languages, including Mandarin. We cover her time in China, along with bits and pieces of my time in China, which pales in comparison to hers, acro yoga, death, wellness practices, some philosophy, work, and more. Cristina is a great friend and a total badass. I hope to have her on again, I'm sure, to go deep into all things that we cover here again, and maybe I'll have them on camera just like I do now. As this is a fledgling 4th episode podcast, you will see the cinematography for this episode is not up to par. I recorded a Zoom session, and for some reason, you only see her during this episode. So I've added some pictures and the short videos to go along, but during the interview or conversation with Cristina, there is no appearance from me, which may be an improvement. But she was a really good sport to do this with me. And without further ado, here's a conversation with good friend Cristina Inacio. All right, Cristina. It's really good to see you. Thank you so much for coming on. You have this unique balance of hard-nosed business acumen, had your own business before, and now you're working for FedEx in Portugal. And then you have this deep understanding of wellness practices like yoga and acro yoga. So can you tell me what's going on with each of those parts of your life and if they're intertwined at all?
Well, Jason, thank you so much to have this conversation. I am always glad to share these parts of my life with you. You know, life is a combination of different steps, and we human beings are complex. My life has been a collection of different endeavors in different areas. When I went to China, I was a Mandarin student. Then I developed my own business there, and I felt the need to deal with stress. Yoga has helped me, and when I found acro yoga, I just became so addicted to it. So for me, it was really important to have these different pieces in my life to bring everything together in a harmonious way, like you said. So yes, I think, you know, finding balance is being curious about different things that can work for us and discover those things.
You actually started doing yoga because you wanted something to use to decompress. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm. It is. I was already practicing yoga. I started around, I think it was in 2010. From 2016 onwards was when really I used it for stress management and, you know, decompress. And it has helped me so much that after I found acro, I also used yoga to develop my own physical skills as well. But yes, yoga is a very complete practice.
A person could get by on nothing else if they really wanted to. Is your current regimen just yoga? Your current exercise regimen?
My exercise regimen, yes, yoga, not so much acro, unfortunately. Running.
Yeah.
Running because I am working from home, so I really need to get my heart pumping, and running helps a lot. But yes, yoga, I would say for me, it's one of those stones that really have to be there for my foundation. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I like the metaphor. Yoga's got this real gentle way about it, right? It's not competitive. It's not imposing. It's a real exercise in peacefulness, I almost want to say. Right? And you've got this other side of you that I've learned about through talking to you about your business and how you have very solid boundaries and very interesting tactics that you use in your dealings. And we can get more into that. So you've got these two parts of you. I mean, does one inform the other? Did one come before? Do you think you're more of a yogi than a hard-nosed businesswoman that can do international business with ease? What do you think?
I like that question. I think, yes, yoga helped me with dealing with stress, but it's not only an inward experience. So when we are well, when we feel peaceful, we can transmit that in whatever we do. With business, it helped me with staying aware, with knowing how to put that little spoon of positivity and let it sprout. And absolutely, in different situations, I've seen it helped me to see clearly the intentions, the goals. So yes, it is, it can be transported from one area to the other, especially because nowadays, and also with acro is a very team building. It's a team building activity, I would say. So with business, using those skills and welcoming people to help you and together to create something, that is powerful. Yes, sometimes people may not be aware of how our own personal practices can interfere with other areas in our lives. But at the end, everything is connected.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it brings back a memory of when we trained acro yoga together. I'd always noticed that you were positive about things. And I remember you saying, well, positivity is contagious. And I thought, you're damn right it is. I may have a negative bias on certain things. And I'm like, I just try not to be negative, but maybe being positive is the positive way to go.
I think, yes, being positive is very, it is positive and it is strong and can help. Going to one extreme can also be negative. So toxicity and being too positive without recognizing underlying issue, that could be also a negative situation. So as long as we are always connected with the heart and really can feel, okay, this is really a positive situation, I am not just covering my fears, then yes, absolutely, that's very strong. Finding balance and being soft with oneself is also quite important. I see people being so hard, and I also have that situation. It is only human that with our friends we are kind and nice, and with one or each other, with ourselves, sometimes we can be a little bit too harsh. So sometimes just to have a general analysis, like on how we treat this positivity or this negativity, it is helpful. About being too negative, of course, that's also not, the way to go, because at the end of the day, what it matters, I mean, we are all going to die. Right?
That's right.
So putting in perspective what matters to you, what is really important in life, creating good memories around those things whenever possible. That is, I think, the simple way of dealing with it.
We went there. Good job. Death informs life more than anything else. It doesn't have to be a negative thing, but at the same time, as you were saying earlier, it's like, well, death is hard and you don't have to laugh about it or smile about it or take only the positive about it. It's okay to let it wash through you if you're experiencing what goes on with death.
Absolutely.
That reminds me of this little quote in Westworld. And I did not plan on going here tonight, but let's do it. In Westworld, what's her name? The rancher's daughter? She's the main character.
Dorothy? No.
Yeah. No, not Dorothy, but I'll remember it and then I'll dub it in here.
Yeah, I love that show. Yeah.
It's Evan Rachel Wood's character, but she talks to one of the humans about she always like watches her dad die like so many times in that little episode, and she said, "You think the grief will make you smaller inside, but it doesn't. I'm feeling something like this. I'm feeling rooms open up inside of me that I never knew existed," or something like that. And I think that's in grief. And I'm laughing as like a defense mechanism almost. I want to talk about China some more because you're like my best friend over there probably. We happened to meet each other through acroyoga. You know, you spoke fluent Mandarin when I got there, and you kind of knew how to navigate everything. You showed me the Dolphin Village, which is a ridiculous art village. So what's your current job? You don't have to say the title if you don't want to, but work with China now, right?
Yes. So I am based in Portugal at this moment, but I facilitate support within the FedEx company, the pricing division for the Chinese market.
I mean, you have to have almost the experiences you had, right?
That's true. Yes, absolutely.
I would say that your whole time in China probably led to this, but like on paper, you got to China. Take me through, if you can give an overview, like a high level overview of it, as quickly as you need to.
Absolutely.
What's your China story?
So actually, before we jump to China, I have to start in Portugal because I was studying Mandarin in college.
Okay.
2007, I went to China as an exchange student, and 2008, I graduated. From that time onwards, I was doing translations, interpretations with Mandarin, English, Portuguese in China. I was teaching a little bit English here and there. And in 2010, I moved from the north, Tianjin, to Shenzhen, the city where we've met.
Yeah.
Pretty cool city.
Yeah.
Well, I continue doing interpretations, going to fairs, Canton Fair. I've met different companies, and as time was passing by, then I really, in 2013, was when I opened my first company to provide support, to represent my international customers, and I was and continue to do exports from China to Brazil and Portugal. So yes, I did. At the first step, I was open to do any type of products. Then I also had many projects with furniture. But meanwhile, I did so interesting projects such as setting up a factory in Brazil to produce paintball bullets, for example. That was, like out of the blue. And a project that lasted from start to finish. It was so interesting, and I've met different people, different type of cultures and perspectives, and it is really interesting to be able to create and to see things, how they are manufactured, how is that process? That was very interesting for me as well, and I continue to be very curious. So yes, then, like I told you before, around 2016 was when I was really already a little bit overwhelmed with stress, and everything has changed. When I look at pictures, I even get like surprised. Wow, you are not the same person, And it is beautiful to see that transformation. Afterwards, what I did. I went to Taiwan, to Thailand, Bangkok. Different places to have different trainings, acroyoga trainings. I was in India. So my Asia experience was, full with different little flavors and spices. And yes, absolutely, bringing together different realms is what makes our life a little bit more complete.
That is very complete. I know it's not a competition at all, but I think about certain expats I met in China and think, wow, they did this and that and lived here and there and traveled to Japan and different places. But yours is up there with anybody's.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I am blushing.
I really want this podcast has got like 15 people that listen to it and watch it. So hopefully, really hoping that more people get to see this and hear your story. So I've done like 2 acro yoga immersions. My level is beginner, certified beginner. I don't know what you call it. Isn't there a level of acro yoga which level have you attained?
I am on the second level, which is I would say the first level. I did 3 immersions, and I have a 500 hours yoga certification. For someone to become an acro yoga teacher, they need to have at least 2 immersions like you have and 200 hours yoga certification. Then you will apply with a video, you will apply to enter to the first level of acro yoga teaching. And that training, right? The training I did was in Bangkok, was wow, with such an amazing team. All the trainings are always with amazing teachers and well taught. And it is, mine was around 18 days, 17 hours working out, but well established and well taught. That is where I am now. If I want to teach immersions, let's imagine that, in the future, you or someone else wants to do that, to lead immersions, then there is another training for that. There is another selection, there is another training, and then you become a pupil of the main immersion teacher.
Okay. So you would still have to do that on top of everything you've already done. You would still have to do an immersion training.
Yes.
That is extensive.
It is
independent completely of regular yoga.
Completely. I would say, that the acroyoga.org training is a little bit, yes, it is more strict if you compare with, a regular yoga certification.
Okay. Yeah. 500 hours to get to level 1, right?
Well, I have 500 because I am a little bit but with 200, you already, actually, you have 200 hours, right?
Yeah, I started that and I didn't finish.
But if you finish, then you have all the requisites to apply for being first level acro yoga teacher. And of course, you still have to go through the training.
Right. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Okay. I had forgotten that I had started yoga teacher training a while back. I train jujitsu, and that's pretty much my main thing right now. But I am getting back into yoga, so don't worry. I'm getting back.
That's cool. That's cool. And what I've noticed is that our practices will also have waves, and sometimes I run more often than to stretch. As long as we are active and moving, our martial arts are, pretty cool and amazing. So why not? Just listen to the needs that you have, right?
That's such good advice, because people that are into different things like me, you are too, I tend to try to do everything at once. And it's a refreshing message to have that validation of like, hey, if I want to do yoga now, I'll do yoga for a little while. And this other thing will be here when I want it.
I have to be honest, I suffer from the same situation. Sometimes I feel like I want to, I have all of these tools. I want to accomplish everything. I have this strength, this energy, this will of doing so much at the same time. But that is not possible, right? And it's sometimes, yes, being kind and remembering I can, step by step, it's helpful. It's helpful. Thank you for sharing and letting me know that you too are like that.
That's the biggest hurdle, is not being afraid to try, is trying to do too much at the same time. Business experience, going back to that, right? And your China on the whole experience. I mean, there's like hours and hours we could talk about each factory visit and all of your little adventures.
Many little stories and crazy adventures. Absolutely, yes.
For people that are watching and listening, Christina here it's almost 2 a.m. in Portugal, and you're about to go to work, so
Exactly.
you can
Yeah.
deal with the Chinese during their business hours.
Exactly. I follow the Chinese business hours. That's true.
And all with a smile, because your experience is unique to, at least to people in the United States. People in the United States don't move around the world as much, I don't think, as people
Mm,
in other countries. They should, but that's besides the point. But your experience is still pretty unique to Portuguese people, right? I mean, you probably don't know that many people that moved to China for 10 years and then,
no, not this one. Well, there are a few, but yes, I would say not so many. You were talking also about funny or interesting experiences in factories,
yeah.
and it is interesting because when I look back, I've seen so many different perspectives of China. China is such a huge country. It's like the size of Europe. So, and the business is becoming more and more based on quality, but there is so much offer. So I've been in factories where the floor was so clean you could eat from it,
Uh-huh.
and I've been in factories where I was afraid the ceiling was going to fall on me.
Yeah.
It is like a vast experience. I would say what that gave me was really being able to be adaptable to any type of situation, to observe. I've always sure that I would speak with anyone from the boss to the operator, the machine operator. I would always try to do that connection and understand the reality of what's happening in that production floor. Yes, but if we go there, I would pull so many different little stories, maybe for a next
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah, next episode. And whenever you have to go, you have to go. That's fine. My mom wants me to get a new blazer to go to
Uh-huh.
like nice places, and I have one. It's just old, and she gave me some money, and she was like, "Go get one from a decent place." I'm like, "Well, I've got a guy in China I know," so I'm like,
Yes, yes, yes. The tailored suits, right?
"Yeah, yeah."
In a Wahoo
And
commercial.
Whoa, that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
I will leave the
yeah.
link to the video. Have you developed a belief or like a way of looking at things specifically because of your time in China that you wouldn't have had otherwise?
I would say that outside I look European, but inside my experiences and the way I became an adult is really while I was living in China. So I believe in hard work. I believe in, perseverance. Those are the things that I've seen working there. I believe in team spirit, that together we can accomplish something. And I believe that China is already winning the next century. If we are focusing on that, I would say without any doubt. But from my personal experience, what I've was 12 years or 13 years in China were really making me stronger, I would say, more adventurous, but also more, like it was not easy.
Yeah.
It was not easy to leave 10,000 kilometers away from your family. And I was there on the first quarantine.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was really not easy. So, on the other hand, I am very happy that I had the opportunity to enjoy that chapter, that long chapter in my life. But I'm also very, very happy to be here in Europe and to be closer to my roots as well.
You got out of there just in time. But that first quarantine, how long were you there?
I left China February 19 February 2020.
So it's like a month and a half probably of quarantine.
Yeah, around a month and a half. I remember the Chinese New Year was in January 7 or something like that. And I was walking out of a friend's house, and I was thinking, should I wear a mask? Should I not wear? Because the rules were still like a little bit not defined. The pandemic was not yet official, but I saw guards wearing a mask. So I also put my mask on, and I was thinking, this is weird. I don't know what is going to happen. Yeah, and even when I left China, I was like thinking, am I going to be able to enter in the plane? Because things were really chaotic, really like, and everything was changing, like China can always implement the rules very fast, and they are very effective doing that. So anything could change at any given moment. But yeah, it was a peculiar situation.
Yeah.
To say the least.
We could do a 30-minute conversation about your escape. It sounds like you flew away from like a burning building. It's like just in time.
Yes.
Oh man, I didn't realize the extent to which you were kind of at the mercy of what the government felt like doing that day.
That's how it felt like.
We probably should get going pretty soon, but any advice for yourself? The one that first got to China, if you could talk to her, tell her.
Okay. Well, I would say be more curious and be more careful and open your eyes more. I've learned many lessons. I've done several mistakes. But those mistakes are also great lessons. That is at least how I look at it. I think I would do everything almost the same with little differences, but not like a huge amount of like, oh my goodness, don't go that way. If I compare myself to other people, I would even say, my goodness, I haven't accomplished anything.
So, yeah. And I'm laughing because that sounds so silly given what we've talked about.
Yes, but that is, it really depends on what and who do you compare to. So again, that advice of being kind to myself, and this is my advice to myself as well, is really to be kind to, okay, I could have done this, I could have, created a business with hundreds of employees, but I've always decided to do everything with me, myself, and I. And that was the journey that I went through. I think that's fine. This is what we need. The step where we are at is that step that we have to learn and experience.
Yeah.
And always be kind to one another and explore life. Keep the priorities in check. Okay, so last advice. Sorry,
okay,
Jason.
Yeah, I'm gonna hear it.
Never compare yourself to other people. I try to compare myself to my version from yesterday.
I like it.
And another advice, this time not for you, but for your listeners, keep listening, share this video so Jason can make more content for you guys.
That's right. Are you Thank you. I think if I said it, they'd be way less likely to follow that. But your voice is just way more easy, more relaxing. I would be bound to do what you say more than I would what I say. I guess it's probably about time to wrap it up. And so thank you very much. But that's all good advice. We could keep talking. We could talk another time and record it.
Of course.
We should. Like I'm being flippant, but it's really hard not to think about what's going on in Ukraine right now and get a sense of how easy my life is and how I'll never know the devastation of, and not to gloss over that casually, but how world affairs are shaping up right now. I mean, Shenzhen is so in the news right now. And I remember talking to you about the brilliance and the enchantment of Shenzhen. I just think if everybody gets to go there once, they should, because there's something incredibly inspiring, and also there's something incredibly magnetic about it. Like the world is really watching that place right now. And it will be more once China opens up, right?
Yeah.
Once China opens up again. But it's enchanting in a way that I can't describe. And you know that as well as I do.
I love that city. I love the vibration. I love the fact that it's so modern, and like 30, 40 years ago was nothing. It's really the new place, and everyone will know about Shenzhen in just a couple of years, because Tesla is manufactured there, iPhones as well, not 100%, but most of the components. And really the vibration, the buildings, like do you remember that huge building in Coco Park with 100 and something floors? And wow,
it's Ping An building, right?
Yes, Ping An, yes, from that bank. Yeah. No, it's amazing. And the fact that, whenever I went back, I came here on holidays, then I would return, and I was away just for 2-3 weeks, and there was already something new. I couldn't even almost recognize my street, and that speed and the opportunities is something else.
They have these beautiful urban villages there, like Hayway and places like that. So I really hope there's some kind of effort to preserve some of that. I know that we're doing this right now. I mean, we got to be honest, right? It's
even Baixo is being destroyed as well.
It is.
Yes. They always want everything new. They instead of keeping the old. The old is not well recognized. Here in Europe, we like to preserve. We have, museums with old things. And I would say in a general way, and in a city as modern as Shenzhen, it is preferable for the economy as well to destroy and then build something new, rather than, to keep it.
Yeah.
But they will build like new small villages copying the old ones, so
hopefully there's some character left. Hopefully there's some soul. They're not going to take the soul out of Shenzhen, I hope.
And that sentence, do you remember? When you come to Shenzhen, you become a Shenzhenese.
I was only there for 6 months, so I don't know if it's fair to claim it. You can claim that for sure. We'll sign off now because I know you got to get to work and I got to go to bed. But anything you want to say in closing?
Well, it's always a pleasure, to share these conversations with you. We have been doing this from now and then, so doing it on camera is, totally fine and very nice. And we have so many different topics, one day even Reiki, or more wellness, or more business. There are so many things to talk about. And thank you for approaching with this, and everything good always.
I remember when you did Reiki on me and I fell asleep.
That's always a good thing,
I guess. Yeah, I could always use sleep. Thank you. And this has been a really gentle, nice, pleasant conversation. It always is. It's like during this conversation, I thought, well, this is a good way to settle in and go to bed soon, because it covers some really, really deep and nice topics here. You're like one of my friends. Sometimes I feel like we're like friends that went to summer camp together.
Yeah, it feels like that. That's true.
Well, thanks a lot. I'm going to hit stop recording.
Okay.
Thank you for watching. If you're impressed by Cristina, you're not alone. I am too. We're bound to cover a lot of those subjects again, maybe more in depth. So if you want to see another conversation with her, please let me know in the comments. Hopefully this podcast reaches double digits. Nonetheless, if you're one of those people, thank you so much. And I'll see you next time.